come make my daughter's cake topper with me. Before we begin, I went on Pinterest and TikTok to find some inspiration. These are the 4 pictures that inspired me to make the cake topper. These are the artist names if you would like to check them out. Right now, I'm just drawing a rough draft of how I'm going to imagine it to look and taking each picture as inspiration. The theme was Twinkle Twinkle Little Stella. I didn't want to copy the artist because it's their own design and I want to make my own from scratch too. The inspiration I took from each one, starting with the first picture, I like the stars scattered around the circle. I did want the back to be like the Sailor Moon's moon and cloud, but I also wanted the number 1 somewhere too, so it wasn't going to work and I went with the circle design instead. For the second picture, I really liked how the number 1 looks like it's floating. The third picture was definitely her theme, but I didn't want to copy this one too, but I did like the moon and the cloud at the top of the corner of the star, since I wanted to incorporate the moon and the stars somewhere. Lastly, the fourth picture's inspiration was the name of the cloud along with the floating stars, but I used the first picture's stars inspiration for the floating stars instead. Now it's time to bring the rough draft I drew to life. I only use my iPad for everything, so let's go to design space. I'm going to start off by grabbing a circle from shapes, choosing how big you want the cake topper to be. For me, I did a 3-inch because my daughter's cake is about that size. I zoomed in so it looks a bit bigger but it's still the same size. Then I duplicated the circle and made it somewhat smaller just so I can slice it to make a hole in the middle because I wanted it to be a shaker cake topper. Then I deleted the 2 inner circles because I won't be using them. To get the 2D effect or the staggered circle look, I added an offset to the circle. Adjust it to how big or small you want it to look. Every once in a while, I'll go back to look at my references. I really like the 2-layer of the circle ring that Confetti one made, but I wanted to do a 3-layer circle ring for mine. Right now, I'm just going to change the colors according to the cardstocks I will be using. For my blue color, I will be using a holographic cardstock, and for yellow will be a gold cardstock. I wanted the third circle to be a little smaller and inside the gold ring. I didn't want to do another offset to make it bigger than it already was. So this is me struggling to make the third inner circle. Here I successfully made it but ended up deleting the wrong circle and couldn't find it, so I just decided to redo it. So starting again, the problem I always have is when the smart guide is on correcting every little thing I do, so I like to turn it off every once in a while and turn it on when I do need it. I don't know why I didn't just choose the inner circle that cut out, but I ended up choosing the outer circle and adjusted it smaller, and surprisingly it fit, so I just kept it like this. I changed the color to pink because I'm going to be using rose gold cardstock. I deleted the extra circles I didn't need anymore. I like how the circle is already looking. Now for the stars. I don't have a set size for my stars, I just adjust and trust the process. So these stars are going to be the same color as the gold circle. I decided to do 3 for now and made 2 slightly smaller. For one of the stars, to get the 2D effect with the hole in the middle, I just made an offset. The first offset I made, I didn't like it because it looked too big, so I deleted it and made a smaller offset. Once I liked the size, I just sliced it and that's how you get a hollowed out star. Then I just make another offset with a hollowed out star and change the colors accordingly. I tried to see where I wanted to place my stars but wasn't sure, so I went back to look at my reference drawing and tried to match that. I duplicated the hollowed out star and I wanted it slightly smaller than the other one, just so they're not the same size. Next I uploaded the moon and star I had previously uploaded for the party favorite boxes. I adjusted them smaller because they always come out so big for no reason. I wanted to work on the cloud first, so what I did, instead of drawing the clouds long enough for the names to fit, I just duplicated the cloud 3 times and lined them up as best as I could, hoping it didn't look weird or off. In a way they looked a bit staggered. I like to keep a copy of the original on the side in case I need it later. No matter how hard I tried, it kept looking staggered and it wouldn't line up properly. So I dragged it to the side and turned off the smart guide because that's what's always bothering me when I'm trying to be precise. I duplicated it in case I messed up, then I just wheeled everything together. I actually liked the way it came out, so I deleted the other cloud I duplicated. I wanted to have the 2D effect as well, so I made 2 offsets behind it and changed the colors accordingly. Now to work on the moon and the cloud. I made an offset to the cloud and the moon as well. I wanted the moon to sit right on top of the cloud. I didn't record everything properly because this was my first time doing all this. But to get the look, I welded both the gold cloud and the gold moon together. And for the white cloud, I had to use the gold moon to slice the white cloud to keep that slight gap in between the moon and cloud, because if I didn't, it would look like the one on the right. I didn't show it, but for now I just gave up and figured it out later. But I took the moon and the cloud to see where I was going to place it and how it's going to look like on the cake topper. Also if I needed to adjust it smaller. For the one, I was being a bit picky with which one I wanted. But I settled with this one, adjusted it and added an offset again. Now it's time to choose a font for Stella's name. This is always the hard part for me because I take forever looking for a font I like, since there are so many. Once I like which font I chose, I just offset the name like the other examples as pictured. The offset always sends all the way to the back, so I always have to bring it forward until it's where it's supposed to be. I thought the offset was a bit too thick, so I deleted it and made a thinner one, so I can have 3 layers for the name as well. Right now I'm just adjusting where I want the stars and if I need more stars to cut out. Instead of grabbing a new circle from the shapes, I took the longer path and duplicated the ring. I don't remember why I sliced the blue circle with the gold circle, but I took the blue circle, used the contour tool, and put the missing hole back. This is for the acetate paper I will be using for the shaker stars. I'm just making sure it's not smaller than the blue circle, but slightly bigger to fit in place. Now I'm just adjusting the square to make the long acetate backing to hold the floating stars, but I actually didn't cut this out later on because I just used the scrap acetate I had. I later added some more stars to put around the cake topper. For now I just moved Stella's name to the side while I wheeled the cake topper together. So what I did first was I looked for the blue ring and the blue cloud because those are the ones that are going to be in the very back. I welded them together so they became one, which that brought it to the front, so I just sent it to the very back again to put it back in place. Next I looked for the gold ring and gold cloud to weld together the same way. For the pink ring, I took the white cloud and I sliced the pink ring and erased the bottom of the ring that was under the white cloud. Then I went back and I welded the cloud back together. Once I finished welding all the pieces that needed to be welded together, I duplicated the blue so I would have two blue backing, so I could sandwich the acetate shaker part in between the two blue. I then clicked to make it and adjusted everything so I could save paper when cutting it out. Now here's the fun part. Time to cut everything out and assemble it. I won't be talking throughout this process, but I'll just be showing you guys, since everything was already explained. Always check your cutting tools to make sure there's no vinyl, cardstock, or anything on it when it cuts.